Guys, I just braced the steering on this thing. Made a huge difference along with an external BEC. 6 volts and 8 volts. We're going to take a look at all that in this video right here. And the best part, the steering braces can be free if you can build them. Let's take a look. Before I get started in the box stock setup, let's go ahead and get a look at this. Look down at that brace right there. See that motion right there? That's the brace flexing. Got some right up here as well. So this right here is what we're going to work on right there. This is the material I have to build this brace with too. So yeah, got some work to do. The shot goes here. I've got that out of the way. I'm basically going to connect this to that right there. So that's what I'm working on, just a simple brace from here to there. This is what I came up with. So I'm going to try my best to get you guys some measurements and kind of get you guys going in the right direction. But yeah, not hard to build at all. Best I can tell, you're looking at about 42 millimeters from the mounting surface where the link actually goes in to the mounting surface where the track bar goes. Material width is about 13 millimeters. Material thickness, 2.35 millimeters. This is the bracket installed right here. Look at this. Now this effectively makes this a double shear. I mean, Axial is great with all the suspension links and all that stuff at making those double shear, but they really not so good here on that. And also down here, even though it is offset, the offset kind of helps out a little bit, but it doesn't get the job done. Double shear is the way to go, and that's what I just did. There we go, guys. Look at that. That should absolutely keep this thing from shifting around. If you have longer bolts by about 2 millimeters, you could totally use them. I just put the stock bolts back in. The next part of this is to drill and tap for a 3 millimeter bolt right here. I do recommend getting some aluminum shock mounts with this right here, all aluminum. That's going to be your best way to go. But for now, I'm just simply going to drill and tap a bolt in there. There you go. And you can drill that out and put a nut on the back side. I just simply tapped it. I kind of have the 3 millimeter taps on hand, you know, and it's easier. Let's get a look at this right here. That's not flexing anymore. That looks a lot better right there. Overall, the steering looks like it's traveling a lot better as well. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put a BEC on the receiver and set it for 6 volts, and just to see if that makes a difference over just the ESC. Here's the BEC set to 6.1 volts. There's the battery powering it. That is coming in right here to the auxiliary. The ESC is completely unplugged. So we've got power on. Let's see if we see any difference here. It does look a little bit better, doesn't it? At this point, I've got the BEC set for 8 volts. If by chance this servo blows up or this servo blows up, guess what? They were going to come out anyway. I've already got other servos. I've got the stock DBXLE1 fifth scale servo. That'll be my next servo to go into here. As far as this goes, I can just simply put a 20 kg servo on that and be fine. So let's go ahead and see what we got at 8 volts here. Let's see what we got here. There we go. Looks like the rod ends are giving a little bit. And I still got some flex on that as well, but it's not as bad as it was. I think we're going to give this a try. 8 volts. And I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to wire this up so it doesn't mess up the ESC. And I also want to talk a little bit about the ESC. If you guys notice, when I was driving this thing around, and if you have one, you probably notice it as well. When you're turning real hard, it drags down the fan. That means you're loading the BEC circuit inside of this ESC. This ESC is undersized. It really is. It's undersized in almost every possible way. by you loading down the BEC circuit, you can blow that up, and that'll pretty much almost always take out the entire ESC. So the way I'm going to have this set up is directly to the receiver, which is good for about 9.6 volts according to Spectrum. I can't see the specs of these servos. I mean, they say 6 volts. I've heard this is good to 8.4. So anyway, we're going to run them at 8 volts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the center orange wire. And now the ESC will still work perfectly fine. It's just the ESC at that point will not be powering anything but itself. The BEC will be powering both servos and the receiver and taking all that load off of the ESC. So that should extend the life of the ESC and less chances of actually blowing the thing up. So I'm gonna go and get that done now. This is how I'm gonna try to pack it all in. I've got the lights disconnected. By specs, according to Horizon, they're only good for 6 volts. I don't wanna burn them up. Now the fan is gonna be running at 8 volts. That may burn up. We'll have to find out. To get all that back to 6 volts, I'll have to make a splitter coming off the ESC to actually, you know, power the fan and the lights, but not the receiver and not the servos. That's something I can do, you know, kind of messing around a little bit. And if you guys want to see that, then I can make a video showing you that. But for right now, this thing is ready to close up. I'm gonna try to zip tie that up a little bit. I did solder them right to the main plug. This way I don't have to have a second battery or any of that stuff and be good to go. So, okay, closing this thing up. At this point, I've got all my steering, but there is no throttle because the ESC is not turned on. When you turn off the ESC, that button underneath there, be careful with that. If your steering is turned and your hands are in the way, you can get pinched underneath there. That's kind of a bad spot to have that on-off button. But when you turn everything off, unplug your battery. Because if you don't unplug your battery, this fan is going to stay running unless it burns up and let you know that you need to unplug your battery. Now this is going to be a short drive. It is just a miserable day today. But steering seems to be a lot better right here. We're going to go hit the rock real quick and wrap this one up. So here we go. We're looking for more power in the steering. Pretty sure we're going to get that. Yeah, lots more control on the steering. Still got some more throw that I need to get. And although you can change the endpoints with the radio, it's kind of involved. Yeah, I got a lot more steering control now. Yeah, a lot more. Now at this point, this is where I pick it up because it ain't going to squeeze that. But so far, really good. We're going to drop down in here just like we did before. Yeah, I've got a lot more steering control on this thing now, guys. I've got to stop at the same spot before, but nice, nice, nice. And I want to try this climb right here. This thing is so big. This thing changes the game, guys. I mean, nothing about this is cheap, but my steering is working so much better. I got a feeling just the braces alone, even at 6 volts, would make a world of difference on this thing. Let's see if we can bring it down something over here. Let's see what we got here. This thing is so different to drive. Look at how smooth that goes. The two most important things with this is number one, the external BEC and the steering supports. You gotta keep that pan hard or track bar, depending on what you want to call it. You got to keep that thing secure. The brackets at the axle, the bracket at the chassis. If those flex, you lose effective steering. Now, as far as the stock servo goes, for me, it seems to be doing okay, but I've seen quite a few guys where it just wears out and everything is just complete junk with that servo. A few guys have actually stripped the servo out. That's going to come out of mine very soon. But regardless, for me right now, it was a huge benefit with the BEC and the steering braces. I want to go over the BEC. Now, I mentioned in the video that when you was driving it, you heard the fan drag down without the external BEC. That puts a load on that BEC circuit. When that circuit decides to go poof, it usually takes out the entire ESC. I have seen some old Castle ESCs like the Mamba Max Pros that would actually destroy the BEC circuit, but the ESC was actually still good. You had to run an external to it. I have seen that. But anyway, with this one right here, I do believe that is a major issue with the ESC problems that I've seen. Also, by taking the BEC off of the ESC, going around it, it makes the ESC handle the power better, stay cooler, and hopefully run longer, and can handle 4S easier. Some of you guys have killed the ESC on 4S. Some of you guys are running 4S, no problem. I'm about to put 4S on this now that I've eliminated a potential issue. So anyway, I know in the past, some of the old Axial AE5, AE3 ESCs or AE2s maybe, they would not run 3S unless you put an external BEC on them, because of that circuit would go and kill the old ESC. But anyway, that's old tech, ancient. I'm going to wrap this up. Very nice mods to this. I recommend you guys try to find some scrap metal and do this for yourself. It's cheap, possibly free, as far as the braces go. BEC, well, you got to spend a little bit on that. But anyway, time to wrap this up. Guys, there are links in the description for everything on here, which is pretty much stock, except for the BEC now, right? I'm also going to change the radio to a GT5 like I have just about everything on. Just because I really like that radio. I'll put a link for that down below as well. So guys, check that description. Use those links. Make sure you're subscribed. And thank you all for watching. Guys, if you like what you see, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell. So, in the description, there's a link to become a channel member. If you want to become a channel member, it's a very simple $2, $5, $10, or if you really got some money, $25 a month. It's a simple way to support the channel. So, get that, and I am doing monthly giveaways for members only, so you might want to consider it. So, guys, use those links. Make sure you're subscribed. Thank you all for watching.